Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Listen, you guys. Video number 3, Married to Medicine, part 3 of the season 7 series finale. I am so glad this is over. Let me say this. I felt like some of the dresses seemed a little better to me this week. Now, I still think that Contessa's dress was the worst dress. Although head on, it kind of seemed a little bit different. It seemed a little bit more quality than I thought. At first, it just seemed so cheap. But now that I look at it, I'm like, okay, it could be cute. Maybe if it wasn't a solid color. But them eyelashes, I just couldn't deal. That hair, I just couldn't deal. I felt like it was real sanctified mother of the church, first lady, church anniversary-ish. I stand by that. I think Dr. Heavenly body looks good. I think Dr. Heavenly don't know how to dress. I think that dress she had on looked like it's something you would wear to your husband's homegoing service. I think Mariah's dress was pretty. I feel like Simone's outfit could have been tailored a little bit more. It was so baggy and bunchy in places. It was weird. So the men finished talking about what? I don't remember. About the strip club, and it really wasn't a lot, and how they felt about the ladies, and their behavior with the strippers. Again, I'm not really sure that the ladies were in any type of danger or threat of being able to cheat there. Now, maybe what they saw there led them to possibly go and look at other men differently, but they wasn't getting nothing from them boys that was at that painting strip. Nah, I don't believe so. So they talked about that, and then in the green room, Simone was reiterating. She was letting them know, you keep talking about my husband. Every time you bring up my husband, I'm going to bring up your husband. She said, I don't care. I will drag Damon to his freaking face. And I believe her when she said that. I believe that Contessa got up, and I had forgotten, because I just kept trying to figure out what was going on with Contessa and Heavenly. Like, why was they seeming like they were so close? I forgot that Contessa took her daddy to Heavenly to get a new set of teeth. And make him feel more confident about himself. I forgot about that. And in that confessional, she said, one of my best friends. So maybe her and Heavenly are very, very close. I don't see Heavenly rooting for her and speaking out for her like she do for Quad and Jackie. Certainly not for Jackie. Like she do for Jackie. But okay, they close. Anyway, I think the reason, so Contessa took Heavenly out so they could just calm down, and she comes back and she wants to make amends with Simone. But this is something I realized from last week when that exchange was going between Simone and Jackie, when Jackie was trying to get understanding and Simone was trying to articulate how she felt. Heavenly never once interjected and said, the last thing I want to do is come between two friends. We saw where Simone was making some sacrifices in the conversation, and Jackie was making some sacrifices in the conversation. Heavenly never said a mumbling word. Now, she done jumped in like double dutch, okay, like hopscotch in every conversation, in everybody's face, in everybody's situation, and been inappropriate and dogmatic. And in this moment, when she has an opportunity to be humble and be genuine, she says not a word. Now, when Simone got in her behind in that green room about, you keep telling people my husband is drunk, and he has been drinking, out drinking, and it's been out drinking with Damon. Drunk together. So how you gonna call my husband a drunk? I think when Heavenly left and she came back, it was an opportunity for her to realize Simone dead ass. Simone is dead ass. She's not finna play the radio with you. If war you want, war you can have it. And she means business. I think that's why Heavenly came right on back in that room and got down on her knees and tried to poo-poo it and smooth it over. And then they was in each other's face, which I find terribly awkward for somebody to just be right here and trying to talk to me. Is we about to kiss? Is we about to make out? What we about to do? It's just like, back up and talk. I told you about my husband. I wanted my husband to get a job. And America did not know. You knew. And then she hugged. I know, I'm sorry. And she said, but America did know because you told them at the reunion. That's not even the point. That's not even the point, Heavenly. Like, you don't give yourself an opportunity. How are you a relationship coach and you don't know anything about compromise? How? Even with Damon. You can do whatever the heck it is you want to do, but Damon's on a strict, tight leash. You don't know nothing about compromise. I just don't like her. I don't care for her. I mean, I think we can find a different person. I know we need somebody to be the agitator, but we can find somebody else. Certainly we can find somebody better than Heavenly. Unless y'all gonna give me a little bit more Heavenly's personal business, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in this fake perfection. I'm not interested in this this idea that she's just makes so much money and she's just so girl, miss me with it. Miss me with it. Without you having that sharp tongue, what outside of that makes you even remotely interesting? I'd be interested in knowing. I'd like to know. Y'all know, put it down below. So they down on their knees on the floor and she's supposed to be hugging, can we move this? And they fall on top of each other and then Quad get on top of both of them and it's supposed to be this spirited moment. They really just want them to patch it up and get it over with so they don't mess up their money. That's how I saw it. That's how I saw it. I've seen them all have really loving, fun moments, and Simone is usually involved. Jackie is always very reserved when it comes to things like that. Simone tends to be a little bit more vulnerable. At the same time, I think she did what she had to do to move through that situation. Do I think she's still angry with Heavenly? Yeah, I do. Jackie left out the room. I just think overall, Jackie it's time for Jackie to move forward. She got so much stuff going on. Let me see, what else was it? So then we come out of the green room, the men come back and they all sitting behind their respective wives, and we on this thing about Mariah calling, talking about she's black and Christian. Her husband is from Bangladesh. And they was during Ramadan, the combining of their families and how tough it was and why was she talking about Quad. And she was saying she personally herself wasn't talking about Quad. She said it was a 3-hour dinner. That was one small snippet. I tend to believe what she's saying, but at the same time, they always put 20 on 10. Shout out to Forest Rocks. Like Mariah and Aiden always kind of over-exaggerate and kind of, they inflate a situation a lot more than what it needs to be. At the same time, I saw her family kind of trying to take up for her and side for her. I thought it was inappropriate for Lake to haul off and call her a hoe. Even that was at the Ramadan dinner, but you sitting there with Quad at the spa party and you got your hands on your face like you don't even want to look at her. You could have waited in another room and been on your phone, sis. You didn't even have to be there. So it do kind of look like y'all talking about it too much. At the same time, Mariah is crying and getting emotional, and Aiden is trying to talk, and Quad is cutting him off, and he asked her to be quiet, please. It's his turn to talk. And she got offended. Heavenly got offended. Damon was just sitting there. Damon was just sitting there. It would have been nice to me if he had just put his hand on Heavenly's shoulder. Let them talk. You don't get involved. But Damon just don't weigh in on it. I could see how she was able to marry him. I could see how she was able to get pregnant by him. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't coax every last bit of that semen out of his penis. He just, I don't know what kind of doctor he is. I mean, y'all know we all love Damon, but he just seems like his body is there. Like, your body's here with me. Mind is on the other side of town. You're messing me around. Ooh. He just doesn't seem 100% present. Like, physically he's there, but mentally it's almost like he closes the curtains. And she be running amok and tearing up cities like Gargantua. He just be sitting there. And Quad just kept going on and on. Well, he doesn't tell me to be quiet. Yeah, you can be told to be quiet, especially when you need to be quiet. I don't know what make y'all think y'all can dog the men and the men can't tell y'all to shut the F up. Like, where you get off with that? Yeah. Yeah. His wife is crying and she's upset. And I think Quad was going to say something possibly kind to Mariah, considering she was crying, but she just needed to be quiet for a minute and let them have full speech. It doesn't, if you sit there and don't rebut or insert yourself, it doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're a loser. It just means you are earnestly trying to hear the other side, the other perspective, which Mariah was saying they don't ever talk about her religion, they don't ever show that, that type of thing. And I think we saw Ramadan last year, conversation about it. So, honestly, you guys, I don't really see a reason for Mariah to come back. I like Mariah, but not on this show. I think on this show, she is going to be perpetually unhappy. For whatever reason, none of them 110% fully accept her. And none of them find that she is worthy of anything but maybe an invite to film. I haven't seen her in the other ladies' homes or having dinner really with the other ladies. I would love to see Mariah do something with her travel channel, Destination Diva. I would like to see her do maybe some hosting, some commercial work, some voiceover work. I think she would be great in those arenas. And I'd like to see her, maybe do some design or some event planning shows or something like that. Things that she's really, really good at. I think that's what she is in her wheelhouse. I think these ladies make her unhappy, and I don't really see a point in her coming back, especially if she feels like she's not loved, she's not accepted, she's not taken up for. They don't show her family, and no one ever believes her. Why be there? Why involve yourself? That's just my opinion. So there was that. And then the guys leave. And basically, we're going to wrap the show up. Quad is trying to tell Mariah about, oh, girl, I can see all of you. I was like, what's happening? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? This why I don't trust this Mariah Quad situation. This is why I think it's storyline. It's all made up on all sides. I think maybe they all agreed that they was gonna go with this whole Lake husband Quad situation, and Quad threw a monkey wrench in it by accusing Mariah of cocaine. I don't think either story is true. I think they just doing it for a storyline. They feeding into it for a storyline, because you can catch Quad, and I said this last season, you can catch Quad having kind words to say to Mariah and vice versa. You can catch them having moments of kindness and friendship with one another. When ain't nobody really looking. You can see it. You can see it. You can see it. At the end of the show, they asked the ladies, is there anyone here that you would like to rebuild a relationship with? And Mariah said, I've forgiven all the ladies here. And Quad was just like, mm. I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Me personally, I don't understand why they don't bring Lake out to have a conversation about the situation. That to me further just proves that this is all made up for a storyline. I call BS on the whole situation. Cocaine and adultery. I call BS on the whole combo, and I just don't see it. I don't see it for either situation. Likewise, I like to see Quad go on and do some things and maybe be on a different reality show. Something that has to do with dating or something, because I don't necessarily see what she adds to this situation. When the guys were out there and they was asking Heavenly about, you used to always portray your marriage as perfect, and she was like, oh, I didn't say perfect, I never said it was perfect, but I said, perfect compared to. And Quad was like, compared to whose? And she said, compared to yours. And Quad just got quiet. You got fire and venom for Mariah at every turn. You gave Simone what for, and still have not let the crab boil of 2 seasons, a season and a half ago go. All right, okay. But this girl constantly shading you right in your face and telling your business, and you don't have no unkind words for her. You don't get to it with her. Now she looked dry as hell when Heavenly said that, but for some reason she knew she couldn't say a word. Some reason she knew she couldn't say a word. I think Quad scared Mariah with that polygraph. I think Simone scared Heavenly when she said, I don't have no problem telling your business and what's going on in your relationship and calling your husband out to his face. And I think it frightened Heavenly, and Heavenly went to make amends. Okay? And I feel like the relationship between Quad and Heavenly is one where Heavenly is in the hierarchy and Quad feels like she's on the low man on the totem pole. Maybe she's scared of Heavenly. I don't know. But I don't see where their relationship is anything other than Heavenly treating Quad like Quad say Mariah treated her, and that's with pity. You look down on me like I was a street urchin. Anyway, they talked to Quad about falling in love again, and do she find out her another doctor, and Contessa wanted to set her up with a plastic surgeon, but he too short, and he too this, and he too that. I mean, I say you need to talk to the man and get to know the man a little bit and see what you think about him from there. I mean, definitely need to work on yourself, because maybe you make some poor choices, or maybe your criteria is not necessarily the thing you need to be looking at, Quad. But I don't know that Quad should even be back. I think she would just it would be better. I just want to see something fresh. I want to see something fresh. I wouldn't mind them bringing the doctor back. I think she married to a doctor, and they got like 8 kids. Real slim lady. She's a real estate agent, blonde hair. I don't know why they didn't keep her on the show. She was a good fit. I think she went off on somebody. Who was it that she went off on? She went off on somebody. She got somebody talk, and I think that's why she never was back on the show. Now, we've seen her at some events in this last season, but just I would like to see her come back as a very good balancer. I think I said this before, for all the heavy acidic content that Heavenly brings. I wouldn't necessarily mind bringing Toya back. I think Toya and Eugene add a dynamic couples element to the situation. They got talking about threesomes and that they don't do them, and it was fine. It is what it is. The episode ended with all the ladies, agreeing that that what keeps them together, what helps them knit is this friendship, is this bond. I will say I do believe their friendships are a little bit more genuine, though tenuous, some of them, than the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Dallas, Jersey. I wouldn't say Beverly Hills, because those ladies are really emotionally invested in one another too. But I don't know. I'm glad this season is over. I need something fresh from these ladies. We got to talk about the Contessa and Scott situation. It was good that we finally got the chance to talk about it. I still think there's something there. There's something still there. But for the most part, they're good, and that's great. Yeah, I don't have to see Quad or Mariah come back next year, and I really, really like both of them. I do, separately for separate reasons. Um, but for this show, I don't know that they add anything. I don't know that they add anything. They're so much alike. And I don't think that either of them bring anything to this forum. I think phenomenally they will excel outside of this forum at whatever they do. But in this forum, I ain't with it. Y'all tell me what you think. Y'all put it down below. What did y'all think of this season? What did y'all think of the 3-part reunion? I do think that the third episode was pretty anticlimactic. And anticlimactic. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. And until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I holla.